Hello everybody, it's Bill's that college football guy here in the video going like, why the hell is the curtain up? Well, the sun is like right here, so if I open it, yeah, you can't really see my face. So I've kind of got it up here just to block it so I'm somewhat visible and not go blind here. Yeah, right here. Anyway, oh boy, video been working on for a while. MAC expansion candidates 2.0. Basically, I've been working on this I did the first one on here and people have had other ideas. So basically I know FBS wise for expansion candidates. If you're going to get anybody, it's going to be either an independent or Conference USA. And I threw some schools out. Like UConn is a football only. They're not interested unless they get a whole thing. They've gone down this road, so they're not going to come to the MAC. So that I took them out. So basically, it's the candidates from FBS or Conference USA. FCS wise, I went through everybody, but I didn't list everybody. First off, I expanded the footprint. As my sun becomes bright by the light of the MAC. I expanded the footprint with the candidates. I went further west. We're talking. The Dakotas are going to be in the discussion here. I also went into Iowa. I also went further south, like a little bit into North Carolina. I also went into Tennessee and Kentucky. Now, Tennessee, Kentucky are FBS candidates and FCS candidates because of, everybody remembers, not too long ago, Middle Tennessee State and Western Kentucky were both offered spots in the MAC. Middle Tennessee State turned it down because they want to stay in the South. Western Kentucky was interested, but at that point in time, the MAC didn't want one school. They wanted two. So the answer was no. Will that change? And the fact is, Western Kentucky's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Middle Tennessee State's in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is part of the Nashville media market. They're not that far away. Excuse me. So, and they're both in the central time zone. They were trying to expand the central footprint. But, so, are they technically still possibilities? Yes. But, so basically, I've done that, expanded the footprint of potential candidates. I also, like FBS, I broke them up into categories. FBS-wise are long shots and possibles. The FCS candidates are broken up into 3 tiers. We're talking long shots, private schools, and public schools. Now, why did I do that? Well, we all know that Northern Illinois has left to go to the Mountain West. So the only school in the central time zone that the MAC had is gone. So all schools in the MAC presently, and that includes UMass, are all in the Eastern time zone. It's also the fact that even if you count NIU and UMass, every school in the MAC is a public university. All of them. So that being said, a public university is probably going to be the one that's going to be searched for the most. That's probably going to be who their primary targets would be. But there are long shots, and the long shots go in the fact like UMass came back as a full member because the bylaws of the MAC changed where they would not allow football onlys anymore. Would they change the bylaws to bring some of these schools in? So, and also another that's like, so I expanded the footprint requirements. I also made, like, everybody's saying, well, the money's got to be a requirement. The money is flexible because nobody thought 5 years ago Sacramento State had any money. Next thing you know, they're exploding with it. If you have a fundraiser who's an AD, you can make this happen. From FCS to FBS, you can make it happen. You'd be on the bottom end, but you could still make it happen and then work your way up from there. So the money I'm not that concerned with, but except for one thing. You have to meet Sam Houston State minimal. What the hell is that? Sam Houston State has the smallest stadium in FBS, counting standing room only, at 14,000. If you can't match that minimum, and everybody would agree, and at least I do, I don't know about the rest of you, that the MAC is above Conference USA. So if you can't meet a Conference USA minimum, no chance. So basically, I expanded the footprint, and your stadium has to be at least 14,000 capacity, because that's the bare minimal right now for FBS. If you're less than that, no one's going to touch you. The example I give is there's 6 schools right now who have stadium capacities under 20,000 that will be coming in soon. Sam Houston State's the smallest at 14,000. Charlotte's at 15,314. Hawaii's at 16,907 or 909, not sure which. UMass is 17,000. Missouri State, who comes in, is at 17,500 this year. And Delaware, who comes in, is at 18,500. Everybody else is 20,000 and up. In fact, in the MAC right now, the smallest stadium is Kent State at 20,560. The largest is Buffalo at 31,000. When UMass comes in, 17,000 will be the smallest stadium. Small stadiums are talking about, like Sacramento State's being yelled at. They got a small stadium for their proposal to go to FBS, right? We've heard so much about. Their stadiums right now is at 21,195. UC Davis, who is supposed to be is going to be eventually bringing their football in the Mountain West, but they said in rumors coming around that it's going to be around 2029. Why was that date put out? UC Davis's stadium right now is at 10,743, way under FBS requirements. But with the expansions they're doing, putting in an upper deck and other things they plan on doing, the expansion will be completed around 2029 that will bring UC Davis's stadium capacity to around 30,000. So that meets the minimum, doesn't it? So 14,000 is the floor. So I broke this up into several categories, like I said, but let's go address the FBS schools first. We have three long shots here. Middle Tennessee State, a public university. Johnny Pat Floyd Stadium in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 30,758 capacity. Western Kentucky Public School, LT Smith Stadium in Bowling Green, Kentucky, 22,113. I just went over with the deal with them. Liberty. Will Liberty move to the MAC? They're a private religious school. They have Williams Stadium in Lynchburg, Tennessee. That's at 30,000. But I think they're a long shot to come in. The most likely ones are the two newest additions to the Conference USA. Missouri State Public Stadium, Robert W. Plaster Stadium in Springfield, Missouri, 17,500. Delaware, a land-grant university. What the hell is a land-grant university? Okay, I didn't look up this definition. Land-grant universities are also research universities, which that's kind of the things that the Big Ten, the ACC, the big boys want. A land-grant university is definition as a college or university that has been designated by its state legislature or by Congress to receive the benefits of the Morrill Acts of Education in 1862 and 1890, or the Equity and Educational Land Grant Status Act of 1994. A mouthful there. But basically we're talking about the state or Congress feels that your project is important. And examples on there. I brought it like Delaware, some. There's other schools. Cornell, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Purdue, Utah State, Colorado State, Oklahoma State, Auburn, Michigan State, Arizona, Tennessee, Yukon, Mississippi State, Florida, Iowa State, West Virginia, Illinois, Oregon State. Starting to get the idea? Big boy schools. So they're a land-grant university. Delaware is. Delaware Stadium in Newark, Delaware, which is kind of on the Metroplex area there. 18,500 capacity. So are Missouri State and Delaware possibilities? I've said Delaware could be a possibility with expansion. Missouri State, not so sure. But that's coming into there. Now we're going to get into the categories here for the FCS, which I believe is maybe more of a possibility. But let's get into this. Long shots, 4 of them. And I said the reason, like, I have 3 schools that are in here that the only way they're going to come in is football only. And 2 in the Central Time Zone, 1 in the Eastern. It's been listed in other videos. My man, Stephen Vitt, STV Castle, has done Bobcat Corner with expansion. Just did a video recently. It was not that bad. You might want to check it out. It's actually pretty good. I mean, his ideas of doing groups of schools. But anyway. Would they change the bylaws to bring in football onlys? I don't think so, but let's go through them, shall we? The football onlys. 2 in the Central Time Zone, North Dakota State, the Fargo Dome in Fargo, North Dakota, 18,700. They're also a land-grant university. South Dakota State, Dana J. Dakotas Stadium, hope I'm saying that right, in Brookings, South Dakota, 19,340. Brookings is kind of near Sioux Falls. And also, they're also a land-grant university, and they'd also be a football only. Villanova. Villanova's not leaving the Big East, so they're going to be a football-only dad. They're in Villanova Stadium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's 25,000 capacity. The other one, I say is a long shot, is they're a land-grant university. They're also an HBCU. So I don't know if an HBCU wants to go to the MAC. But that's Tennessee State. They are in Nashville, Tennessee. And they don't have an on-campus stadium, so they're allowed to play games at Nissan Stadium, where the Titans play, at least until the new one gets built across the street. Capacity in Nashville of 69,143. Being an HBCU, I don't know on there, so I'm going to kind of put them in as a long shot. Private schools, two possibilities. One, this is the one that was in North Carolina, Elon University. Not Elon Musk, Elon University. Road Stadium in Elon, standing room only, included is 14,000, the same as San Houston State. Elon's near Charlotte, so that's near the South Carolina borders. This kind of should have been put in the long shots, but it's a private school. The other one, Central Time Zone, private school. Kick the tires on this one. I mean, dead serious. Kick the tires. Drake. Not the rapper. Drake University. Drake Stadium, the Bulldogs. Des Moines, they're in Des Moines, Iowa. 14,557 capacity. Basketball, NCAA tournament team all the time. NCAA tournament shares is how a G5, G6 conference increases their value. They're in the Missouri Valley Conference, and I believe the payout's somewhere around $250,000 a year. You're getting $2 to $2.5 million in the MAC. Would they be willing to make the jump? Stadium meets the minimum requirements. Des Moines, Iowa, decent-sized media market. It's further west. They are a private school. But kick the tires. Okay? I'm also bringing up the fact that there were some schools that I originally had on my list that I had to take off the list because they didn't meet the 14,000 stadium capacity requirement. Richmond Stadium, they're in an interesting situation. They only have 9,000. It's a small stadium. Stony Brook, which is in Long Island, is only 12,000. William & Mary is about 12. Western Carolina. Illinois State, who I thought was going to be an interesting candidate, they don't meet 14,000 either. And Austin Peay in Clarksville, outside of Nashville, they don't meet the requirement either. So it's just, so those schools I took off the list because they don't meet the FBS minimums right now. So you're not going to hear their names being mentioned. Now, 6 schools mentioned so far. 4 in the long shots, 2 in the privates. That's 6. Of the other schools that meet the 14,000 requirement, there's 7 left. They're all public. 2 in the Eastern Time Zone, 5 in the Central. So these are the ones you need to pay attention to. 1, Eastern Kentucky, Roy Kidd Stadium in Richmond, Kentucky. Where's Richmond, Kentucky? It's 25 miles outside of Lexington, where UK, the University of Kentucky, is at. The stadium capacity is 20,000. So it's a decent-sized stadium, Eastern Time Zone. Chattanooga, the Mocs. W. Max Finley Stadium in Chattanooga, 20,421. Another size stadium. That could be an Eastern expansion, get you into Tennessee. Now, let's go, oh boy, to the Central Time Zone. Northern Iowa. Possibly I also mentioned the UNI Dome in Cedar Falls. Cedar Falls is outside of Cedar Rapids. 16,324. We're making the lowest in the MAC. Like, in fact, none of the schools in the Central Time Zone eclipse 17,000. So they'll all be less than UMass. So the 2 in the Eastern eclipse 17. So all these would be the worst in the conference. So that's consideration as well. But you got to get in the Central Time Zone. So Northern Iowa, 16,324. You had Northern Illinois, Directional University. You happy with the idea of 2 other Directional Illinois universities? Like Western Illinois, Hanson Field, Macomb, Illinois. It's closer to Hannibal, Missouri. Really small media market, 16,368. You lost Northern Illinois. Are you interested in picking up Southern Illinois? The Salukis. Saluki Stadium in Carbondale, Illinois. They're so low of a medium market, they don't even make the top 210. That's 15,000 flat. So, are they really an option? Now the 2 that I think that probably might be the biggest option. Murray State. Murray, Kentucky. Roy Stewart Stadium, 16,800. It's in far western Kentucky. It's closer to Clarksville, Tennessee, where Austin Peay is, than it is to Bowling Green, where western Kentucky is. But they're in the Central Time Zone. And Tennessee Tech. We're talking Tucker Stadium in Cookeville, Tennessee. Cookeville's right on the edge of the Nashville media market. I know right where that is. It's not that far from the house. 16,500 capacity. So you do have some options. I mean, should you kick the tires on Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee State, Liberty, Tennessee State? Because I don't think you're going to do a football only, but I list them anyway. But Tennessee State, see if the HBCU is interested in joining. You kick the tires on them. Missouri State and Delaware, you definitely make a phone call. You kick the tires on Elon, you definitely kick the tires on Drake. It's a private university. It'd be the first one you've ever had, but I think it'd be worth the look. I don't know if it's the first one. Actually, I don't know for sure if the first one they've ever had. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. Is that the first? I don't think the Mac's ever had a private university. I could be wrong, but I don't think they would. But adding a school that doesn't meet minimal FBS stadium requirements, it's a non-starter. So that's why a lot of them are not going to get there. But you got Chattanooga public schools, Chattanooga, Eastern Kentucky, Northern Iowa, Western and Southern Illinois, Murray State, Tennessee Tech. This is legitimately who you've got to look at here. Because if you don't meet the minimal stadium requirements, you're not going to get up. It's not going to meet the requirements. 14,000 is now the floor. It used to be UMass at 17,000 was the floor, and it's gotten lower. But Sam Houston State is willing to expand. Charlotte is trying to expand. Hawaii may expand, but they're so far west, no one really cares. UMass story there, so it's like they really want you over 20,000 in FBS, but it's not a requirement. But going below 14 is a non-starter. So, I mean, you do have options. Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee State, Liberty. You think those are going to come in? Missouri State and Delaware. Those are all buyouts. Conference USA schools. I forgot what the buyout is for UTEP. I think it's $2 million. Somebody let me know that in the comments. Was that part I did not look up? Like I said, look up Tennessee State, Drake and Elon. But your primary candidates, based upon all of the options here: Chattanooga, Eastern Kentucky, Northern Iowa, Western and Southern Illinois, Murray State, Tennessee Tech. I would go FBS first. That would be the best option. But you're also part of the ESPN family of conferences. Do they want you rating Conference USA? Well, they're encouraging the Sun Belt to raid Conference USA, so I don't think they'd have a problem with the MAC doing it either. I have said jokingly the Conference USA maybe should change their name to the FIC, the FCS, FTC, the FCS Transitional Conference, because it seems like all the schools are FCS to come up there. But if I had to guess, would Missouri State and Delaware want to make the move? Probably not, because they just got there. Middle Tennessee State, Western Kentucky. Middle Tennessee State would say no. Western Kentucky also may say no. And they both may put this on pause because of what's going on with the Sun Belt and the American. If the American doesn't, a lot of people in the American don't like the idea of the Pac-12 taking schools. It's a possibility. The Pac-12 raids schools from the Americans raiding the Sun Belt. Like supposedly the rumor going around is, since it says Temple and it says Memphis and Tulane, but UTSA and North Texas are on the Conference USA escalator. They started $2 million 2 years ago. This past season was 2.5. This coming season will be 3. Eventually get all the way up to 7. You offer them a full share off the jump, they might jump, even with the exit fees. But they would need, if they do 27 months notice, they need to know by March 30, form the conference by March 31st, be able of this year. March 31st this year, so that way they could be available July 1st, 2027. Otherwise, it's July 1st, 2028. So I thought, and if Sunbelt gets rated, most likely for James Madison and Appalachian State, Conference USA is going to get rated. They'll go after Liberty, see if Liberty's interested. Most likely Liberty is not, because Liberty still doesn't have all the facilities up to date yet. They're not going to be able to compete with the Sun Belt in certain sports. So I think they'll wait And the two schools that were former Conference USA schools, former Sunbelt schools that went to Conference USA in 2013 and 2014 respectively, referring to Middle Tennessee State in 2013, Western Kentucky in 2014, there was a movement to get those two to come back so they could be in those time areas, the Central Time Zone. So they're kind of not wanting to move until the AAC Sunbelt thing resolves itself. If they're not going to they don't have a chance of going back there, they may go to the MAC, but they're going to wait on that first. So they may not be up to the mark here to doing it. Liberty, you can give them a call. I doubt they're going to want to make the move. Missouri State and Delaware, kick the tires. Why not? Tennessee State, Land-Grant. I don't think, are you going to change the rules about being a football only? I don't think you are. Land-Grant University, HBCU, Tennessee State, kick the tires. Elon, I probably wouldn't, but technically they qualify. Drake, I would. Kick the tires on them. Find out what's going on. Des Moines, Iowa. You got a team that could pretty much make the tournament all year, which is a tournament share, which is more money for everybody in the conference. And then you got your 7 that are public schools that make it again. Chattanooga, Eastern Kentucky, Northern Iowa, Western Illinois, Southern Illinois, Murray State, and Tennessee Tech. I'm going to pin a comment on this one of the candidates and what group they're in so you guys have reference on this, because I said a lot in here, so you guys need some reference on this one. So there's a lot to digest. Let me just put this down because I'm going to get blinded again. There's a lot of things to talk about this. So why don't you let me know about all this down in the comments. So again, thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done it already, do me the favor. Smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Lets YouTube know, hey, people like this video. Pay attention. Do we need to promote it more? Comment on the video. I went through a lot here. There was a lot to go through. But let me know what you think. Again, I'll pin the top comment so you know what it is, what the schools are, which categories, and who you think could possibly be the move. Like I did 14,000, like I said, because that's the smallest FBS stadium. I don't think FBS is going to let anybody even bigger, smaller than that. Would you want a 10,000 seat, 8,000 seat stadium in a conference whose smallest stadium right now, until UMass shows up at 17,000, is, hold on, I wrote it down over here. Oh my goodness. Is 20,560 for Kent State? Would you want a stadium that's less than half of that? No. So stadium size is going to be important. Let me just think about all those down in the comments. Share the video if you want to. If you haven't done it already, check out some of the other videos I've done. If you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. I'm on the road to 1K trying to make some good things happen here. You want to follow me on the craziness that is X, the link will be in the description. I've dialed it back a little bit on there, but I'm still going to be posting stuff on there, usually about recruiting and whatnot, but other things. If you want to follow me on there, you can. It's not the primary thing I do. This is the primary thing I do. So, again, thanks everybody for watching. I had to start getting ready to run the show here. So, thank everybody for watching. Hopefully, everybody's enjoying their Thursday. Be safe out there. I get blinded. Oh, geez. And please, be good to each other.